What's going on, my geeks, nerdettes, and that wonderful technicolor rainbow in between? This is your boy Dragon the Keyblade Maker, and I am back. I know I've been away for a while. My last video was probably about 2 months ago, give or take. I did the review on Spider-Man No Way Home, as well as stating that I would try to start uploading videos more often. I do apologize for the 2 months disappearing act. I'm still working some stuff out here at home, but other than that, I'm back. Small update: I will be attending Tidewater Con in Virginia Beach on May 14th through 15th. I'll be having a booth there, which is my very first booth. So if you see me there, feel free to stop by and say hi. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. More than happy to answer questions for people. With that being said, I'm doing something a little different today. A lot of my friends have always asked why don't I do videos on how to design props for 3D printing. Since I'm a cosplayer myself, as well as a prop maker, I figured, why not? I've done panels like this at conventions before, so if you've seen me do my panels at a convention, great. If you haven't, this would be something that you guys could use if you ever wanted to get into 3D printing. 3D printing is very easy to get into. I know it can seem a little scary because of the machines that are used and what a lot of people say how expensive it can be. And yeah, if you want to get like the higher end printers, yeah, it can run you a pretty penny. There are a lot of companies that do offer entry level printers for really good prices. You have companies like Creality, Ultimaker, MakerBot, stuff like that do have relatively good printers at relatively good prices. You can get a average size printer for maybe about 250, anywhere from like 150 to $250, which is really good for something you can use at home, something you can store on the desk, and make small stuff with. Larger printers may be able to run you around $400 to $500, depending on where you get it from, maybe a little more depending on the company. Um, Designing software, it's everywhere. You can go almost to any website and find some kind of 3D software. Adobe has some stuff. What I'm using right now is called Tinkercad. They have a great free membership, which I'm on right now. I use this for basically all my designs. If you have a Windows PC, there's a thing called Paint 3D, which offers 3D designing that you can download as an STL file to print on 3D printers. I'm not sure about Macs or Apple computers. Not 100% sure because I'm not an Apple person, so I don't know what the software they have on there is. But if you look for it, you can find it. A lot of websites will have it, Thingiverse, things like that. Will also have designing software you can use. I'm using Tinkercad because it's very user friendly. It's great for beginners, students, teachers, designers, crafters. You can do a lot of stuff with the free account. They do offer a premium, like I think it's like $20, $30 a month. You get a little extra stuff here and there. But if you don't want to pay it, the free membership works just fine. They have a lot of stuff. These are just the basic shapes. They have a bunch of other stuff like design starters, creatures and characters, vehicles and machines, structures and scenery, all that kind of stuff, and also shape generators, which are stuff people have designed and decided to share publicly on here. I'm going to do something simple with you guys. Um, I'm going to make a cup. It's a great way to learn how to do stuff. And as I start this, with 3D designing, don't be afraid to make a mistake. This is where you experiment. This is where you see what works and what doesn't work. Where you think stuff like how you can make things go together well. This is the basic layout. I have my grid set up at 8 and 3/4, 8 and 2/3 inches by 8 and 2/3 inches. This is the standard build plate size for most printers, and you can modify it if you want, inches, millimeters, or bricks. Bricks I think are used more for stuff like Minecraft, things like that. Not a Minecrafter, so I don't use it very often, but if you are into Minecraft, great way to think. Great stuff to do. You have millimeters where it sets it as 2 millimeters. You have inches where it sets to inches, whatever your preference is. If you prefer imperial over metric or metric over imperial, does either one. Great. The snap grid down here shows the movement or the size difference when adjusting the size of an item. So right now it adjusts per eighth of an inch. You can set it all the way as low as 0.64 of an inch or as high as a brick, which is basically 1 inch. Alright, but the default setting for inches will always be an eighth of an inch. You have all your settings here, the home settings. This is a focus setting. So say you have like this triangle. If you click on this, it focuses solely on that item. It's great if you need to do some finer work, if you need to get in a tight spot and you can't see very well from out, this will focus down in on it. Then you have your zoom in, zoom out. This is a flat view, so kind of just almost like a 2D visual of it. So you can take a more of a horizontal, vertical look at it, be a little easier, or you can set it to the normal 3D view, which is what you see here, which is the default setting for a lot of things. All right. With that being said, I'm gonna go into let's go back to the home view. Let's go ahead and get rid of this. Go up here to the trash can, delete. I'm gonna start with a half sphere. Click on it, drag it out here. Most shapes will start at 1 inch. That's kind of the default if you have it set in inches. Millimeters, I think it's like 10 millimeters or 100 millimeters. I can't remember which one exactly, but they're roughly right around the same size when you're starting off in the shape. If you need to make a copy of a shape or something, you come over here, you click duplicate, it'll make a copy of it, so you can adjust that copy anywhere you like. You can delete it. If you want to copy something from one file and put it on another, what you do is you highlight the item or highlight the whole design if that's what you're copying. Come over here, hit copy. All right, and this will copy it so you can paste it onto another file, another design if you want to kind of mesh two designs together. If you're thinking about doing something a little different, if you want to, say you want to put, a Thundercats or blade on top of a lightsaber hilt or something of that nature. I know that's that's kind of a unique combination, but yeah, that's the stuff you can do. But focusing back on here, I'm going to focus in on it so I can get a better view of where I'm going. Say I'm going to adjust it. Let's do a 2-inch base by a 2-inch base. There you go. So I just adjusted it to where the size of it is 2 inches by 2 inches on the X and Y axis. If I put it at an angle, I can come right here to where I can adjust the Z axis and I can adjust it as I need. I'll put it at, let's put it at 3/4. It's not going to be a big cut. Just something simple to show. All right, I got my base done. And I'm going to come over here. I'm going to use a square as my neck for the cup. So I'll click on the square. I usually try to put it in the center as best as possible. That's just me. You can do it however you want. Then you can adjust it. Do a 1/2 inch neck. 2 and 1, 2. If you don't want to adjust one side by itself each time, what you can do is you come to one of the corners and you'll see two sides lit up. That means you can adjust it however you want. It's a lot quicker, but in my opinion, it's a little more prone to making mistakes. Like I said, don't be afraid to make a mistake. It's not a bad thing. You can just readjust it as you see, or you can come back up here and do the undo and take it back to the previous side, the previous shape of it. All right, so now I got my shape set up. I'm gonna extend it. Let's put it about 3 inches. All right, so now I've got my base and my neck for the cup. See, very straightforward, very simple. Now, making the actual cup part of it, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here and I'm going to duplicate, which makes a copy, and I can rotate it. I can rotate it up to 360 degrees or 180 and 180, however you want to feel. Okay, then I can lift the item on the ground. Every item you have will have this little cone. You can lift it, you can drop it, however you see fit. However you want to do it. So I'm going to lift it up, put it right up there, and then I'm going to make this one 2.5 inches. That looks like a good cup size. All right, so I'm gonna come over here. I'm gonna highlight off of it and come back onto it to make another copy of it. Then I'm going to shrink it down just a hair, all the way around. This is not gonna be actual cup of drinking. It's just a prop that we're designing. And I want to lift it up just 1/8 of an inch So you see it sits right above the edge of the top of the cup part. I'm also going, well, I can leave that part there. A lot of times, you know, if you're going to do what I'm about to do, you know, sometimes you want to lift it up, but it's not a huge deal if you do or not at this point because it'll still work itself out. Now, as you see over here, there's two functions. There's solid and there's whole. Solid is what you see here. You can also change the colors of everything, however you want it, or, you know, if you group two things together, you can put the multicolor, which will make it whatever color the shapes were originally, and, you know, it'll show it that way. Also, there's a spot called the whole. When you click on this, it turns it kind of like a transparent shape. And what that means is when you say you group it with something, with a solid shape, come up here to group, it creates a hole in the item. You know, so, like I said, if you want to make a cup, this is a great thing to use. And if you need to ungroup it for any reason, you come over here where it says ungroup, takes it right apart, and you're back to where you were. It's very simple, very straightforward. You know, if you need to highlight multiple things, there's two ways you can do it. One way is to hold the shift key and to tap onto each item individually. You know, that'll highlight all the shapes you want to do. You know, that's good if you have a lot of fine shapes and you don't want to highlight everything. If you just don't care, you want to highlight everything, what you can do is you can hold down the left trigger on your mouse and just drag it across all these shapes. As you can see, it'll create a red square. If you let go, it'll highlight everything that's in that red square. So you can use everything that was in that red square however you want. If you want to group it, come up here to group, and as you can see, it turned everything one color. If you don't want it one color, come down here to multicolor, and boom, it's all multicolor. If you want it all one color, just click it again, and it reverts back to the color it grouped it together as. And there is a basic cup for you. It's nothing fancy, but this is something you can tinker with. You can create stuff. I've done chalices that were themed after a bunch of stuff like Inuyasha, My Hero Academia, stuff like that. You know, this is just a basic idea just to show you how simple it is. I did it with two shapes and, you know, 4 different pieces. This is a great tool for entry level designers. If you're making your own props and you want to try to expand what you can do, this is great. Tinkercad, I would wholeheartedly suggest Tinkercad for beginners. It's a great entry level 3D designing software. And when you first sign up, like I said, it's free. It gives you the tutorial on how to use everything. All right. But if this video is useful for you, feel free to like, share, all that good stuff. I will try to be posting a little more regularly, hopefully weekly, with more stuff like this. I'm also going to try to upload some, you know, video game streaming and some more vlogs. If you have any questions, please feel free to post them in the comments, and I will see you guys later. Once again, everybody, stay nerdy.